Let me take you back to London in 2012. The Olympic Games are in full swing and the world is holding its breath as athletes from every corner compete for gold. Amid the roar of the crowd and the glint of medals, the British cycling team is rewriting history. They win a staggering 70% of the gold medals available in cycling events. The same year, a British cyclist clinches the Tour de France for the very first time. And then they do it again. And again. By 2017, Britain has claimed multiple Tour de France victories. It feels almost magical. But ask anyone who followed British cycling for the last century and they'll tell you this was anything but expected. Because for 110 years before that, the British cycling team was, well, mediocre at best. Not a single British cyclist had ever won the Tour de France. In over a century, they managed to capture just one gold medal. Their reputation was so poor that leading bike manufacturers didn't even want to be associated with them. Some companies flat out refused to supply bikes, worried the team's failures would tarnish their brand. Imagine that, being so bad, nobody wants you to use their product. That kind of rejection stings. So what changed? How does a team go from decades of disappointment to dominating the world stage almost overnight? It feels like there must have been some secret formula, some miracle breakthrough. But there wasn't. The real answer is simpler and far more powerful than you might think. In 2003, everything shifted. The British cycling team hired a new performance director named Dave Brailsford. He didn't bring a magic wand or a roster full of superstars. Instead, he introduced a philosophy that would change everything: the power of marginal gains. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, calls it the 1% improvement rule. The idea is deceptively simple. If you can improve every area of what you do by just 1%, those tiny changes compound into something extraordinary. Let's be clear. The British cyclists didn't get new bikes. They didn't suddenly discover a generation of undiscovered talent. What they did was tweak every little thing they could. They made the seats more ergonomic. They wore heated over shorts to keep their muscles warm. They tested dozens of fabrics to find the most aerodynamic material. Even the smallest routines were optimized. They taught riders the most effective way to wash their hands, just to avoid getting sick. Every little thing. A 1% improvement here, another there. Nothing earth-shattering on its own. But together, those tiny changes added up to world domination. There was never a single, dramatic turning point. No thunderous applause as everything changed overnight. It was a steady, relentless series of tiny adjustments. Each one almost invisible. But over time, they built something unstoppable. As James Clear wrote, these were tiny changes, but their results? Remarkable. Now, let's zoom out for a second. Take a look at your own daily life. If you study your days closely, you'll see patterns. You brush your teeth every morning. You eat, you watch Netflix, you work or study, you do chores. You socialize, maybe you exercise. You go to bed, you sleep. It's a loop. And while you rest, your brain quietly analyzes everything you did, optimizing for the next day. You waste less time, spend less energy. Without even realizing it, you're building habits. Habits are automatic. They're subconscious actions that happen again and again, making your life easier by saving your brain the energy of deciding what to do every single time. Think about it. If you had to consciously choose to brush your teeth every morning, you'd probably skip it half the time. Habits are like silent partners, running in the background, keeping things moving. But even the strongest habit starts as something tiny, a single decision. The more you repeat that decision, the stronger and more automatic it becomes. There's real science behind this. In 2002, a study led by habit researcher Wendy Wood found that about 43% of the actions people take every day are done out of habit. Nearly half of your day is shaped by routines you barely notice. It's easy to overlook these routines. They seem boring, even meaningless, simply because we do them so often. But that's where so many people get it wrong. Those little daily actions are actually the most important things in your life. Do the math, and you'll see it. You are the sum of everything you do every day. Not just the big moments, but the small, ordinary ones that stack up over time. So, how do you improve yourself through habits? The answer lies in what the British cycling team did. You focus on the tiny actions, the 1% improvements. That's how you create real, lasting change. Small steps, over and over, until they become unstoppable momentum. We love to think success happens overnight. We imagine a big win, a sudden transformation. But in reality, it's more like growing bamboo. Have you heard how bamboo grows? For 5 years, you barely see anything happening above the ground. You could water it every single day and still, nothing seems to change. But all that time, something incredible is happening beneath the surface. The roots are spreading, growing stronger, reaching deeper. Then, in the 5th year, the bamboo suddenly shoots up, 90 feet in a matter of weeks. Most people get frustrated by the lack of instant results. They stop watering the bamboo. They give up before the miracle. We're so attached to immediate feedback that we forget to look at the bigger picture. This is one of the most important shifts you can make. Success, and the habits that lead to it, aren't born from a single big win. They come from countless, atomic improvements. Small changes, stacked up over time, are what really matter. Let's talk about how habits actually form. There's a process your brain follows again and again. It's made up of 4 stages: cue, craving, response, and reward. This loop is running in the background, shaping your life every single day. Here's how it works. First, the cue. This can be anything: a smell, a sound, a feeling. It's what triggers your brain to start thinking about a possible reward. Maybe it's the aroma of coffee as you walk past a cafe. Maybe it's your phone buzzing. Or maybe it's just boredom creeping in. Then comes the craving. The cue tells your brain a reward might be available, and suddenly, you want something. You want to taste that coffee. You want to check your phone. The craving is the desire, the feeling that pushes you toward action. After the craving comes the response. This is where you actually do something. You buy the coffee. You pick up your phone. Whether you act depends on how strong the craving is, and how easy it is to satisfy. Finally, there's the reward. This is the payoff. The taste of coffee. The little hit of dopamine from a new message. Rewards teach your brain, hey, that was good. Let's do it again. If any part of this loop is missing, the habit doesn't stick. No cue, no craving. No craving, no action. No action, no reward. And if the reward isn't satisfying, you won't bother repeating it. This cycle keeps spinning day and night, shaping your life whether you notice or not. The good news: once you understand how each stage works, you can start to change your habits, one step at a time. Let's break down each stage and see how you can use it to your advantage. First, the cue. You want your cues to be obvious. Make your good habits impossible to ignore. If you're trying to learn Spanish, leave your notebooks out on the kitchen table. Change your phone's language. Save Spanish podcasts for your commute. Make it so you can't help but bump into your new habit. Your environment has a huge impact on what you do. Without even realizing it, you're shaped by what's around you. Walk into a quiet church, and you whisper. Step into a lively bar, and you raise your voice. Design your environment to support your goals, and your habits will follow. Next is craving. Make your new habits attractive. The habits you have now? Most of them stuck because they felt good. Dopamine is your brain's way of saying, let's do that again. The more fun or enticing you make a habit, the more likely your brain will crave it. But let's be honest. Most healthy habits aren't as immediately exciting as the bad ones. Exercise doesn't always feel as good as eating ice cream. Reading rarely triggers a rush like scrolling through social media. Here's a trick. Pair your new habit with something you already love. There was an engineer who loved binge-watching Netflix, but knew he needed more exercise. So he linked his stationary bike to his TV diet. Unless he kept pedaling, Netflix paused. No pedaling, no show. Suddenly, exercise became the gateway to something he craved. It worked. There's another mental shift that can make your habits more attractive. Instead of thinking, I have to do this, try, I get to do this. I don't have to write this script. I get to. It's a privilege. You don't have to work out. You get to work out. You don't have to eat healthily. You get to. That small change in thinking can make all the difference. Now, let's talk about the response. The action itself. The trick here is to make it as easy as possible. The easier a habit is to start, the more likely you'll do it. That's why checking social media or watching TV is so addicting. It's effortless. But dragging yourself to a gym across town? That's a lot harder. So lower the friction. Sign up for a gym closer to home. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Or keep a set of dumbbells right next to your bed. Every little bit of convenience helps. One of the most effective strategies here is the 2-minute rule. Commit to just 2 minutes of the new habit. Don't think about the whole workout. Just change into your gym clothes. Roll out your yoga mat. Start with 2 minutes. That's it. The real power isn't in the 2 minutes. It's in showing up, building the identity of someone who does this, day after day. Let's say you want to practice yoga 4 times a week. Step 1. Change into workout clothes when you get home. Step 2. Pull out your yoga mat. Step 3. Do 2 minutes of stretching. The point isn't to stop at 2 minutes. The point is to make starting so easy you can't say no. Once you're there, you're much more likely to keep going. The biggest obstacle to progress is the dread of getting started. But when you break it down into the tiniest step, you can outsmart your own resistance. Each time you show up, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through. 2 minutes at a time, you build unstoppable momentum. And finally, the reward. This is where your brain lights up. All habits, good or bad, are built on the promise of immediate pleasure. If you want a habit to stick, you need to make it satisfying. The challenge with good habits is that the rewards often come later. You don't see the results of exercise right away. The benefits of studying don't show up until exam day. That's why bad habits are so tempting. They offer instant gratification. Watching TV, eating junk food, even procrastinating, all give you that immediate hit. But here's the truth. The long-term rewards of good habits are always better. You have to find ways to make the process satisfying right now, even when the big payoff is far away. Your brain remembers the ending of an experience more than the middle. Use that to your advantage. After a tough workout, treat yourself to a great meal. After an intense study session, play your favorite video game for half an hour. Just make sure your reward fits the identity you want to build. So, why did the British cycling team become legends? It wasn't luck. It wasn't one big breakthrough. It was the relentless pursuit of tiny, almost invisible improvements. Just like bamboo, their greatness grew quietly beneath the surface until it was impossible to ignore. Now you know the building blocks of habits. You know how to spot them, shape them, and leverage them. Sometimes you'll need to make a habit obvious. Other times, you have to make it attractive, or easy, or satisfying. The 4 laws are tools you can use, over and over, to craft the life you want. Remember, it's the little things that move the needle. Focus on getting just 1% better at something, every day. Because small habits don't add up. They multiply. They compound. That's how you build a remarkable life. As James Clear said, that's the power of atomic habits. Small changes. Remarkable results.